In this video, let us learn about service design. Service level management goals and objectives. Service level management, SLM, is a vital process for every IT service provider organisation in that it is responsible for agreeing and documenting service level targets and responsibilities within the SLAs and service level requirements, SLRs, for every service and related activity within IT. If these targets are appropriate and accurately reflect the requirements of the business, then the service delivered by the service providers will align with the business requirements and meet the expectations of the customers and users in terms of service quality. If the targets are not aligned with business needs, then the service provider activities and service levels will not be aligned with the business expectations and problems will develop. The SLA is effectively a level of assurance or warranty with regard to the level of service quality delivered by the service provider for each of the services delivered to the business. The success of SLM is very dependent on the quality of the service portfolio and the service catalogue and their contents, because they provide the necessary information on the services to be managed within the SLM process. Adherence to the standards and practices developed by Design Coordination for successful service design is critical for this process. Service level management is responsible for defining and agreeing the service level requirements for new or changed services, which must be done in a consistent manner according to practices developed cooperatively with Design Coordination. Activities of these two processes should be carefully integrated with a service level management activity and focus primarily on the warranty levels that are required in the solution design and design coordination activities. This should ensure that all parts of the service solution design and SDP are appropriately addressed. The goal of service level management, SLM, is to ensure that an agreed level of IT service is provided for all current IT services. Future services are delivered to agreed achievable targets. Proactive measures are taken to seek and implement improvements to the service delivered. The objectives are: develop relationships with business, negotiate, agree and document SLA and SLR, monitor, measure and review IT services, SLA, SLO, review contracts with supplier management, recommend and assess service improvement plan, SIP. Service level management scope. The scope of the SLM starts right from the customer demands, which in turn become the requirements, and SLM gets service level requirements, SLR. SLR gets drafted, negotiated and agreed, and from them we get service specification and service level agreements, SLA. SLM also manages OLA with internal teams and with coordination of supply management. SLM manages underpinning contracts with external suppliers. Monitoring, reporting and reviewing of SLA, OLA also come under the scope of SLM. Based on the performance review results, SLM recommends service improvement plans, SIP. Important point here, though, is to ensure that content and frequency of the reporting must be as per the customer's requirements and mutually agreed by both the parties during the negotiation. SLM should provide a point of regular contact and communication to the customers and business managers of an organisation in relation to service levels. In this context, it should represent the IT service provider to the business and the business to the IT service provider. This activity should encompass both the use of existing services and the potential future requirements for new or changed services. SLM needs to manage the expectation and perception of the business, customers and users and ensure that the quality, warranty of service delivered by the service provider is matched to those expectations and needs. In order to do this effectively, SLM should establish and maintain SLAs for all current live services and manage the level of service provided to meet the targets and quality measurements contained within the SLAs. SLM should also produce and agree SLRs for all planned new or changed services that document warranty requirements. Service level management, basic concepts. Service Level Management, SLM, a communication channel and relationship with appropriate customers and business representatives. SLM is the name given to the process of ensuring that the required and cost-justifiable service quality is maintained and gradually improved by planning, coordinating, drafting, agreeing, monitoring and reporting of SLAs, and the ongoing review of service achievements. Service Level Agreement, SLA. An SLA is a written agreement between an IT service provider and the IT customer or customers, defining the key service targets and responsibilities of both those parties. The emphasis must be on agreement, and SLAs should not be used as a way of holding one side or the other to ransom. Operational Level Agreement, OLA. An OLA is an agreement between an IT service provider and another part of the same organisation that assists with the provision of services. For instance, a facilities department that maintains the air conditioning or network support team that supports the network service. An OLA should contain targets that underpin those within an SLA to ensure that targets will not be breached by failure of the supporting activity. Underpinning Contract, UC. A formal contract between an IT service provider and a third-party vendor. Third-party vendor is also called a supplier. SLR, Service Level Requirements. Future requirements, or the requirements which are not turned into SLA yet. SIP, Service Improvement Program Plan. An overall program or plan of prioritised improvement actions encompassing appropriate services and processes, together with associated impacts and risks. Service Level Management, Key Activities. The key activities within the SLM process include determining, negotiating, documenting and agreeing requirements for new or changed services in SLRs, and managing and reviewing them through the service lifecycle into SLAs for operational services. Monitoring and measuring service performance achievements of all operational services against targets within SLAs. Producing service reports, conducting service reviews, identifying improvement opportunities for inclusion in the CSI register and managing appropriate SIPs, collating, measuring and improving customer satisfaction in cooperation with business relationship management, reviewing and revising SLAs, service scope and OLAs, assisting supplier management to review and revise underpinning contracts or agreements, developing and documenting contacts and relationships with the business, customers and other stakeholders in cooperation with the business relationship management process. Logging and managing complaints and compliments in cooperation with business relationship management. Providing appropriate management information to aid performance, management and demonstrating service achievement. SLM chart for service reporting, monitoring. SLM charts are very effective for SLA monitoring, SLAM. A useful technique is to include a SLAM chart at the front of the service report to give an at-a-glance overview of how achievements have measured up against targets. These are most effective if colour-coded, red, amber, green, and sometimes referred to as RAG charts as a result. This chart is usually used during the performance review meetings. Service Level Management, Key Metrics. Here are a few metrics we have for service level management. Percentage reduction in SLA targets missed, SLA targets threatened, SLA breaches because of UC, SLA breaches because of OLA. Percentage increase in customer perception and satisfaction of SLA achievements, service reviews, customer satisfaction survey responses. Service Catalogue Management, SCM, Goals and Objectives. For Service Catalogue Management, the goal is to ensure that a service catalogue is produced and maintained. It contains accurate information on all operational and planned services, and the objectives are to manage the information contained within the service catalogue, ensure accuracy in current details, status, interfaces and dependencies of all services. The scope of service catalogue management includes all services that are being transitioned or have been transitioned to the live environment. There are two types of service catalogues: Business Service Catalogue, BSC, Technical Service Catalogue, TSC. BSC contains details of all the IT services from customers' perspectives, relationships to the business units and business process that rely on the IT services. This is the customer's view of the service catalogue. TSC contains details of all the IT services from an IT perspective, relationships to the supporting services, shared services, components, and CIs necessary to support the provision of the service to the business. A point to remember here is TSC should underpin the BSC and may be visible to the customers. Sometimes you may see three views of service catalogues: retail, wholesale, and technical. 2 view, service catalogue. Here is the pictorial representation of the 2-view service catalogue. Service A, B, C, D, and E are underpinning to business processes and visible to the customers directly, whereas service 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are underpinning to the service A, B, C, D, and E, all supporting those services. This view is the technical service catalogue. SEM, key role. Service Catalogue Manager manages the SEM processes and activities. A few of them are producing and maintaining service catalogue, recording existing and new services in service catalogue, ensuring service catalogue information is accurate, ensuring service catalogue and service portfolio information is consistent, ensuring service catalogue information is adequately protected and backed up. Types of services. Core services deliver the basic outcomes desired by one or more customers. They represent the value that the customer wants and for which they're willing to pay. Core services anchor the value proposition for the customer and provide the basis for their continued utilisation and satisfaction. Enabling services are services that are needed in order for a core service to be delivered. Enabling services may or may not be visible to the customer, but the customer does not perceive them as services in their own right. They are basic factors which enable the customer to receive the real core service. Enhancing services are services that are added to a core service to make it more exciting or enticing to the customer. Enhancing services are not essential to the delivery of a core service and are added to a core service as an excitement factor, which will encourage customers to use the core service more or to choose the core service provided by one company over those of its competitors.